Yeah, I've never gotten to hold the 200-inch deer before.
Here he is, 207.
I would have pooped myself.
Yeah.
I would have. Yeah, I would have. My pants would have been full.
And what makes it even, honestly, obviously he's a giant rack, but he was one of the biggest body deer I've ever shot. I mean, I don't know if the camera does it justice, but the neck and it's just absolutely insane.
Well, everybody, welcome to the HuntStand podcast, and we're over 200 episodes deep. I think this is
That's pretty awesome.
I could be wrong right now, but this is like 208, I think, or 209. Might even be 7. But anyway, we're here in Kansas.
207. I killed a deer that big once.
Oh, you did
Yeah.
you? Well, that's what we're here to talk about,
Yeah.
man. So, we're here in Kansas with my good buddy Cody Butler. Cody's place here was the very first place for me to shoot my out-of-state deer.
That's right. I forgot that.
Out of Texas, old 9 lives, in velvet, huge 8-point, 154 inches.
Yeah, I think there's something like that. Was he an 8 or a 9?
He technically had like a little
G4 on the one side.
like a little mant, but I don't even think it was scoreable.
Full velvet in Kansas, which just never happens.
Old deer.
Old deer.
Low T. He was on
Yeah.
low T, and
I don't know if he was low T, but he was definitely a very passive deer.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like to be alone.
and he had a cool story.
He did.
It was like a deer that not a whole lot of people got an opportunity at. He just kind of seemed like a ghost. Was his own character.
I think he was, what do we figure? I think he was 7 or 8 when you shot him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I had only seen him maybe twice in his life. A lot of pictures of him.
Wow.
The neighbors there almost killed him once. He actually missed him with a rifle, like 75 yards. So that's kind of why we started calling him 9 lives. But yeah, real passive deer, real kind of loner type deer. And in my opinion, those are some of the hardest to kill. They just kind of stick to themselves. They don't get real aggressive during the rut.
Yeah.
And we really tried hard to set that place up just for that reason.
Dude.
That year with food and water on a dry year, and that water was key.
It worked on night 1. It worked on night one. And I couldn't believe that it happened. I'd been struggling for so long to get my first year out of state. I think I'd been in Nebraska twice, and
Yeah.
I think Ohio once by that point. So it was pretty nice to be able to get that for my first out-of-state deer. And for everybody listening, we'll actually drop the link down in the show notes or in the description below, but people can actually watch that hunt. We did it for HuntStand Original called 9 Lives, and so we're going to drop that down below. But we're back here in Kansas. It's early season. It's been hot.
It's been some goofy weather for sure.
Dude, it has, like, hot, rain,
low pressure,
and weird winds.
yes.
Like, how often is it that
light
you guys
and variable and switching a bunch.
west wind?
Yeah.
What?
We don't get straight wests very often, especially not this time of year.
It's super weird. And, I mean, went out this morning, and Hunt Zone was saying west-northwest, go get out. We park. It's a south wind. We move to the other side of the hill. It's a northwest wind.
Yeah,
So
just ton of light and variable winds, which are just – I don't like light winds, period. I don't think deer move good in light winds.
No.
And when you obviously you're throwing scent everywhere, you're dealing with thermals, makes it tough when you're bow hunting. I mean, if you're sitting in a blind 100, 200 yards away with a gun in your hand, it's a little different. But
yeah,
getting
definitely.
tight with a bow, it can make it tough.
Oh, without a doubt. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't give bow hunting enough credit for. Is we see a lot of stuff on television shows that people are shooting booners, giants, 207-inch deer. People, you're consuming that piece of content in a small window. So a lot of people, I think, get this misconception that bow hunting is easy and it happens quick. But I think that's the farthest thing from the truth.
That
when you're
is definitely the farthest thing from the truth, for sure.
Especially when you're trying to film.
Yeah.
When you're trying to do anything, it makes it even more difficult.
Yeah, you're adding, double the human scent every time you go in. If you got a camera guy, it's
Yeah, these camera
When you got Logan there, I mean, he smells anyway, so.
Especially after he eats a bunch of Mexican food. But yeah, I mean, it's something that I have to remind myself, I think, yearly. You build up all this anticipation of going on these hunts.
Yep.
You get lots of big deer on cameras. You get them daylighting. You have them showing up a lot at nighttime. And then you get here and you get a quick reminder that shooting a deer on the first night isn't always going to happen.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest with you. Lead the 2 to 3 weeks leading into the season, man. I really thought you were going to have one down the first couple days. If we could get the right conditions, and you pulled into camp and the conditions changed.
Well, I gotta say,
things got a little more difficult. That's for sure.
It's been raining in Texas a lot, so I think I probably brought the weather with me.
You might have.
The inconsistent weather, and then we got old Minnesota camera guy here that he probably brought something with him too, a little bit. So
it's always Logan's fault.
It's always Logan's fault. It's always Logan's fault. He really is. Camera guys are always the easy scapegoat. Well, man, I really want to talk to you about everything you got going on here.
Okay.
You've got multiple pieces of property to choose from. Now, they're not giant pieces. Like,
nope.
Collectively, you have, how many huntable acres would you say you have?
I think it comes out to be like 680 something across 6 different farms in Kansas.
So you've got a varying size of properties.
Anything from our biggest farms are 160s and the smallest is a 40. Got some 80s in there, and
lots of ag with beans and corn.
Yep. And when I say even 160, I mean the properties that I'm hunting and growing some of these big deer on and even holding there are might be 160 acres, but I mean 100 of that might be a field, and the back corner has some timber on it. I mean, so in general they're pretty small properties, and it's taken a decade probably to kind of fine tune them and get them how we want them. A lot of TSI work to make bedding better, and a lot of food, and just try to draw more deer in and be able to hold them there and keep them comfortable. And a lot of guys I feel like think you need 1,000 acres, 500 acres, or whatever to hold deer. And if you do it right, an 80 can be all you need. I mean, a 40 can be really all you need if it's in the right place.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I would say one of the things I love about this area where we're hunting, you okay if I tell people north central Kansas?
Yeah, that's fine.
We're north central Kansas. By no means am I going to tell you like what town or anything like that we're at, but the topography around here, I love the rolling hills and the drainages, the little bottoms, like the one we were hunting this morning, just like a nice little honey hole where they can come down into after being on the bean fields all night, and we were able to sneak in there. I like it. I've been to Kansas. I've been up to, Minnesota, Wisconsin, been to Oklahoma, and I feel like Kansas is I was talking to Logan about this. I feel like it's a good mix of the two.
It is, and I mean across the state it's pretty diverse. Here honestly, even just right here is pretty diverse. I mean, you've got some really flat land, that's crops, especially closer to Nebraska you get. And then, you got some rolling hill areas, big cedar draws. You got big creeks with oak draws. I mean, you go a mile down the road and it looks completely different.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we're in a B&B 25, 30 minutes south of here, and it's definitely a little bit different than where we are right here.
Yeah, I mean, here at the house, you got the river system here, and it's, pretty flat, and you go a mile south and you run into hills and pastures, and it's pretty cool.
It's good-looking stuff. It's definitely deery.
The HuntStand podcast is powered by Yamaha Outdoors. For us, Yamaha side-by-sides like the Wolverine RMX 41000 LE are a game changer for us in the woods. Whether it's hauling gear to the deer stand, putting in work around the farm, or just hitting trails with the family, Yamaha delivers the reliability and comfort we count on. If you want to check them out and the full lineup of Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, and off-road vehicles, head to YamahaMotorsports.com.
We love all types of hunting, and that's why we love our partnership with Savage Arms. There are a lot of gun companies out there, but few that build pieces that cover every aspect of your life as a shooter. Savage gives you options for just about everything, from rim fires for plinking and small game hunting, to center fire rifles for going after predators and big game, to shotguns for turkey hunting and wing shooting, even down to compact pistols for personal defense. When it comes to burning powder, we trust in Savage. And it's not just the variety of guns that is so impressive from Savage, it's the quality and innovation that has earned our respect. We're talking about technologies like the adjustable AccuStock and AccuTrigger, and the first all-American straight pull action with the Savage Impulse. You can see it all for yourself at savagearms.com.
Well, man, you killed a 207-inch deer
Yes.
last year, and then how big was your triple drop deer?
181.
181, and then you had another stud you killed
During rifle season.
the year before that?
Well, yeah. See, I got to think. I shot one the year I shot triple drop during rifle season in Nebraska that was just under 180. And then, gosh, I got to think what I killed the year before. I guess that would have been the double drop at the farm you hunted last night.
You got giants everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at one right now.
Yeah, that's my, just if I can make a mess here.
That's okay. Just so everybody knows, there's a giant ledge full of sheds behind us.
Yeah, that's a few of them that mean something to me. I got piles of other ones, but yeah, this is kind of just a one that got away, I guess. Deer I tried to hunt. Actually found this deer going in to hunt, and it's been several years ago. Gosh, I don't know, probably 10 years ago or more, but this deer's like 193, I think.
Ugh. And you found him dead in your pond.
Yep.
Poached.
Yep. Yeah, we're pretty sure he was poached. He had a hole in his side anyway, so.
Sickening, man.
Yeah.
Oh, God, let me see that thing. Like, I just can't believe the size of the deer out here in Kansas compared to, like, where I'm at in Texas. Like, a deer with this
body-wise, antler-wise, everything. It's just crazy.
The part of the state I live in, a deer with this kind of mass is unheard of, like non-existent.
Yep.
Unless you're on a high fence range. So you got lots of big deer consistently year after year. 180s, 90s, 70s. You killed a 207 last year, the biggest deer you've ever killed.
Yep.
We'll go through the story of the 207 here in a little bit, but talk to us about like what it takes to maintain 600 something acres across, probably from your furthest north farm to your south farm. There's like, what, an hour driving or so probably?
Yeah, so I mean, the furthest one away, like from my house, is like just over 30 minutes. But I mean, they're literally, so the 40-acre farm that's actually just over into another county, and the one that's furthest away, they're truly on completely opposite ends of the county.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, yeah, they're quite a ways away. They're all spread out, which is one thing that I have learned, in my opinion, is better. I know I've heard Mark Drury even talk about this. He had some bigger farms, and he has, ever since EHD, which we all know is a problem, and even a problem this year in parts of the country, he's got a lot of smaller farms now, spread out in a bigger area. I like that for a few reasons. Number one, you're not pressuring one farm too much.
Yeah.
Two, you're not really killing out genetics on a farm because you're not hunting it every single year.
True.
And if you do have disease of some kind, like EHD, you might have one or two farms that get hit hard, but there's going to probably be pockets of some that aren't hit as hard. Whereas, if you have 200, 500, 1,000-acre farm that gets real hit hard, you're screwed at that point.
Yeah.
So
really
it's really
are.
helped.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of gas money and the miles on the truck driving around and hauling tractors and, doing all the
batteries
work.
for cameras.
For cameras. It takes a lot to do it, but it's worth it.
What do you think has kind of been, I guess you could call it the secret sauce, the bread and butter? I mean, what do you think either you've done, or is it just the area that has helped consistently produce these big deer?
I mean, the area is definitely good, but I feel like we really started seeing a change and consistent results, I'd say 5-ish years ago. I mean, we've always had good deer, but the consistency of more big deer when we started doing more TSI work, making better habitat, bedding areas, and honestly, like just more food in general, which, consists of obviously food plots. And we usually try to keep some sort of a feed system going. I don't technically usually hunt over feeders or even bait on the ground. I personally think it can be tough because, you get a lot of deer in there. It's hard to get in and out without busting deer and educating deer. But we usually have some central hubs, which, it's legal in Kansas. If you want to shoot a deer with his face in a corn pile, you can. But we really try to keep a good size feeder centrally located on the property, with a good protein feed, just to kind of hold them there, draw them in from, longer distance, stuff like that. Then we have the food plots that we hunt more over. And I'll even pay our farmers sometimes to leave, standing beans, standing corn, whatever.
Kind of like where we sat last night.
Yeah. Last year when I knew I had 207 on that farm, I had him leave me, I think, 2.5 acres of standing corn there just to try to help hold him there. Yep.
Now, you didn't see him much during the summer, so he didn't summer with you much. Maybe just kind of frequented. But...
I had, I think, 2 pictures of him total in the summer. He was staying about a quarter to a half mile east of there, but I knew from years past that he would move into my place at some point, probably in October.
Yeah.
And so I just put the cameras where I knew I would get him traveling through there, and finally got his picture working a scrape close to a pond, actually right where you guys were sitting last night.
I think I remember when you sent me that picture too. You were like,
"Don't
share this anywhere."
Yeah, he was. He came in there. What was it? October 28th or 9th, something like that. Is when he which is later than I thought he would. And I knew it was game on then when he finally came home. He'd spin the rut there, and took me 3 hunts, and we got him killed.
HuntStand offers the very best in mapping, e-scouting, and even gear savings. And the best membership level that you can get through HuntStand is the new HuntStand Ultimate membership. We've got activity forecasts for whitetails, mule deer, elk, and blacktails, and we've got rut maps for all those species as well. And we've got great integrated mapping features like 3D national aerial imagery and a bunch of other base maps and overlays that you're going to want to be able to have access to hunt and scout the most effectively. On top of all that, as a HuntStand Ultimate member, you can get up to 50% savings on great gear from some of the top hunting brands. Go to huntstand.com to learn more.
Talk to us about how you killed him, because I think that's a pretty cool story. Because I remember we had spent some time in Missouri. We went and did a hunt together. You're actually camera guy for me.
Yeah.
And we'd been talking. You had all these awesome deer showing up. I just remember like every morning we'd get up and you're like, "Oh, there's a new deer. Oh, there's a good one." I'm like, "God dang, what are we doing here in Missouri?"
Yeah. So obviously Kansas is one tag. That was the deer I was going to hunt. I mean, unless another deer that I thought was 200 plus showed up, obviously that was the deer I was going to hunt. So I basically I think I went out 3 times maybe
before you saw him on camera.
Yeah. And well, no, I didn't even hunt that farm at all. I didn't hunt that farm at all until I knew he was there. I just didn't want to go in there at all and risk screwing something up or putting too much scent on the ground, whatever. It just was pointless to hunt him unless I knew he was there. So I kind of just sat back, scouted from the road, obviously watched the trail cameras. There was one other buck that was pretty big. I mean, a big deer probably in the 180s. I sat on a couple times, just wanted to see him in person, see what I thought. Really big 10-pointer. But other than that, I just kind of sat back and relaxed and waited for him to show up. And I had every stand in place. I think I had 5 or 6 different stands set up and a blind, just specifically for him for every possible situation I could have had. And so when he showed up that morning, I hunted him that evening. It allowed me to get into a stand. It was real windy. It was pretty warm, but it was real windy. It allowed me to kind of make a circle around, come in the back door to a stand. I normally only hunt in the mornings. And I actually saw one of the other mature bucks that night come in, one of the deer you're actually hunting this year.
Yeah.
Come into the pond, saw several young bucks, did not see him. Hunted him the next evening, I guess it would have been. Did not see him, saw 2 other really good bucks. But one of them, I kind of joke, like, saying thank you to him. He come in and just blew a scrape up. That's a really active scrape on that farm every
Good
year.
community scrape, yeah.
Yep, he came in and blew that scrape up for probably 15 minutes, man. He just kept coming back and just tearing it up. Got cool footage of that. And I kept thinking to myself, like, man, and then 2 other bucks actually that evening ended up working that scrape. I'm like, hey, this scrape's getting hot, And I actually texted my wife because the next day was Halloween, October 31st. She had to work that day. And I just had that gut feeling like the good Lord was telling me, like, I need to be in this tree tomorrow morning because it's a really good morning spot too. So I remember texting her in the stand, like, hey, like, is there any way, you can get the kids to school and get to work and, everything in the morning? Like, I just really feel like I need to be in this stand tomorrow. And her being the awesome wife she is, she's downstairs. She can hear me.
She's making mini muffins right now.
Yeah.
They smell really good.
I'll try to get some brownie points here. But anyway, she, said yes, whatever. Got up that morning. I sat in that stand for an hour and 15 minutes in the dark because it's a great morning stand. I mean, obviously, but it's one of those stands that I got to go through some fields to get to. It's kind of a hard stand to get to. So I wanted to get in there early. I just tiptoed in there, sat there in the dark. And to be honest with you, that morning was like, you can't draw up a better October morning. I mean, high pressure, bluebird. We had a cold front come in. I think it was like right at 30 degrees. Like just one of those late October mornings you absolutely dream of. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I saw like a doe and a 3-year-old. Dang. I mean, that's it. Nothing going on. Just strolling through. And I remember sitting there. It was like 8:20, 8:30, something like that in the morning. I remember sitting there thinking, like, how is this morning so bad? Like, this is just crazy, But what even drove me more crazy is from years past, deer in the mornings and evenings really like to come from the east from there. And the night before, not one single deer had came from the east. And that morning, not one single deer came from the east. So I remember sitting there just thinking, like, God, like, why is there no deer coming like they normally do? And I remember looking over there thinking, like, did a tree fall? Did something happen that is blocking that? Whatever. And couldn't see anything. And so I'm sitting there, and I remember just kind of saying a little prayer, I guess. I mean, maybe not really prayer, just more talking to God, like, man, like, how is this morning so bad, and why has no deer come from the east? and I no more than say that, and where the sun was at, it was just getting high enough that the shadows were starting to get a little bit longer. And I see legs. I don't see any, like, an actual deer, but I can see a shadow coming through from the east, which was just hilarious since I just said no deer coming from the east. I remember saying in my head, like, oh, here's a deer from the east. Yeah. And I see this shadow, and it's coming through, and it's walking pretty slow, and it stops, and it's got its head down. I can tell it's either kind of, scent trailing or something, so I figured it was a buck. And I had rewind a little bit. I had just rattled about 10 minutes before this. And deer picks his head up, and there's a hole through the trees that his head comes up into that's maybe the size of a beach ball. And his head literally just picks up and is framed perfectly in that circle. And I instantly, I didn't have to put my binoculars up, nothing. I
You
just
knew it was him.
I'm like, oh my God, here he comes.
Did your heart just like instantly just start beating a million miles an hour?
I knew it was going to happen because it's so pinched right there. That what makes that stand so good is basically if anything comes through that area, you've got a bow shot at him 40 yards and in him. It's just such an awesome little pinch. And I knew unless he turns around and walks away, I'm going to have a shot. Mm-hmm. And I remember turning, seeing him there, and I remember thinking, okay, he's going to come. I get all the cameras on, get everything ready. I'm not even watching him at this point. Like, I'm just trying to get in the zone so I don't screw this up. And I had a gut feeling. I'm like, he's probably looking for the fight that just happened a few minutes
He
ago.
heard one.
Yeah. And I had a feeling he was going to come smoke that scrape, and that's exactly what he did. I mean, he come in pretty quickly to that scrape, like, you know, who's here, who's in my house, you know, type of thing, and just absolutely puts on a show.
Dude,
I mean, just tore the scrape up. Just amazing footage. And I actually took a shot I didn't want to take. Ended up being great, but he was actually quartering to me pretty hard when I took the shot. So there's 2 trails coming off of that scrape. There's one that comes right by me at like 7 yards. And there's one that turns and goes up the hill into a cedar thicket that a lot of does like to bed in. Well, he turns and angles like he's going to come right here. Well, I'm already at full draw, and I'm thinking, okay, I can't shoot him until he's right here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to follow him the whole way there. Like, there's no way he's not going to see me at that close.
No.
So he's quartering to me, but he puts his leg, you know, really forward, and I'm pretty high. So on camera, the shot really looks probably worse than it is. It looks like it comes in pretty high.
Yeah.
But I actually got one lung going in, went through his liver, and then it lodged in that back hip.
Perfect.
And he went, I actually hit that artery going in too, the artery that runs
Just
real
bled
high right
out.
there. And he went maybe 40 yards, and I watched him pile up.
Golly. How hard is he to get off the wall?
The HuntStand podcast is powered by Muddy Outdoors. For Josh and I, we run Muddy because it plain works. From tree stands to box blinds and the new Deviate camo and boots, it's the gear we trust every season. When you're spending long hours in the woods, it makes a difference having equipment that's built for hunters by hunters. And that's why we stick with Muddy. To check it out, head to gomuddy.com.
Crossbow hunting has opened a lot of doors for keeping our hunting traditions alive. Crossbows have been great for bringing new hunters into our circle, but also for keeping older bow hunters in the field. No matter where you're at in your crossbow hunting journey, you can look to our partners at 10 Point to find the most diverse line of crossbows with the best of the best technology for virtually any budget. Head on over to 10pointcrossbows.com and use the crossbow selector tool to find your next setup.
All right. Here he is, 207.
I would have pooped myself.
Yeah.
I would have. My pants would have been full.
And what makes it even, honestly, you know, obviously he's a giant rack, but he was one of the biggest body deer I've ever shot. I mean, I don't know if the camera does it justice, but the neck and it's just absolutely insane.
Dude.
And his head is just huge.
Oh my God. Did you weigh him?
I didn't, but I should have. I
Dude.
should have. I mean, he had to have been over 300 pounds for sure.
Without a doubt.
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah, split 3. Honestly, probably one of the first deer I've had, honestly, even on camera that has a split 3. You know, that's not something real common. Split 2 on this side. Big brow.
Dude, oh my gosh.
Actually, somewhere, I don't know if I could find it. Somewhere in this pile, I have his 3-year-old shed.
And this is the farm that we've been chasing after.
Yeah,
The
so
blind buck we've been going after.
Yes, so I would have shot him maybe 100 yards from where you were sitting last night.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Dude. What's a spread on this sucker? Like 19?
I think he was 20 or
20?
21. This side kind of pops out a little further.
So let's see. Is a typical 10 or
It's
typical
typical
12?
6x6. Yep,
So
typical
1, 2,
12.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I think he's like
10,
right at
12, 13, 14,
190
16.
is a typical. I mean, gross, obviously.
But 17 total scoreable
Mhm.
points. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Dude, it's not every day. I think anybody really gets to even put their hands on a 200. Golly. Now, what do I do if I have a deer like this show up tonight?
Shoot him.
You heard him, Logan. You heard him.
He'll probably sit there.
Dude. 207.
207.
And your next biggest is triple drop, 181?
No, my next biggest is Epic down here, which is 187. And then I have Longhorn, who's 185. And then it would be Triple Drop at 181.
Dude, just in pure insanity. Pure insanity. And, man, I got to say, like, I know you're doing all the land improvements. You know, you're talking about TSI. I mean, you've got beans and corn on rotation from the farmers every year. Then you get to do your small plots. You've got your feeders that you're doing some protein, like a good little corn mix you're picking up from the local Allied Ag.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
We lost a light.
Good? So you've got a lot of really good things going on, but I think you've also got something else that a lot of other people may not have. Like, there's no high fences. There's none of that around here. I think you've got some pretty dang good neighbors for the most part, that y'all all have the same management mindset when it comes to growing big deer.
Not every farm.
Right, not everyone, but
some of my key farms, I mean, that's a huge part of it. I mean, and for anybody buying land, I mean, you can have the best piece of property in the world, and if if your neighbors aren't on the same page, it can be tough. And nothing against that. I mean, I will never be one to say you're crazy for shooting that deer. I mean, I want everybody to be able to hunt and enjoy it and shoot whatever they want.
You got to, whatever makes your heart race.
Yeah, but if if you've got to the point in your hunting career or whatever where you want to take it to the next level and try to grow stuff like this, it definitely takes a lot. I mean,
it
takes good neighbors and actually I had. Speaking of like really good neighbors, where this deer was summering is actually a piece of property that the guy that farms my land for me has. I mean, he probably had 500 pictures of this deer in the summer. And he was still rooting for me to get him.
Yeah.
So that's just awesome. To have not only a farmer like that, and a friend, but most people would. They'd be doing everything they could to make sure this deer don't leave.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even after I killed 9 lives, your neighbor to that farm there, he brought me, I've got sets of sheds from 9 lives since he was like 3.5.
Yeah.
Your neighbor brought that, and it was like as soon as he heard that 9 lives hit the dirt, man, he came over and he talked
which
to me
is
for
really
a while.
cool. And that's what it's about. And
it is.
I feel like, in a world today where seems like everybody's at each other's throats, to have good neighbors and stuff like that is just it's pretty cool. I mean, that's what hunting should be about: the camaraderie, the family, the buddies, the camp.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes we lose sight of that a little bit, but yeah, I mean, that's what it really is about.
It is, man. And I think you can do all the things in the world with everything you're doing, and you'll probably get some good sized deer. But if you don't have neighbors that are on the same page as you, 207s aren't possible.
No, I mean,
you might have a freak.
You might get, good Lord might bless you, but it's hard to do, and it's hard to do consistently. I think last year heading into the season, it's not like you had 680 acres across 6 farms spread out, through the county, but they're small farms. And I think going into the season last year, I had 21 mature bucks.
I remember that. I was like, good.
And for whatever reason this year, I think the reason this year really why I'm not getting there as many bucks pictures. I mean, we still got some solid deer yet.
Yeah.
But, we had a really, really wet spring and a really wet summer. We're getting rain today. We're still getting rain. And, we had basically a 3-year drought before that, and I'm putting in water. One thing my grandfather did when he bought all these farms, he got a grant somehow through the state to put in water holes. So, I mean, I have water holes on pretty much every farm but the one you shot 9 lives on, and then I put those man-made ponds in there. So 3 years of drought, I had more water than everybody around me, and I had more food than everybody around me.
That's a big thing.
And I think I was sucking in a lot of deer, where this year, all the ponds are full again. there's obviously even just natural browse
Yeah.
everywhere. I mean, the pastures and everything is just unbelievable. I mean, there's grass 6, 7, 8 foot tall.
It's crazy.
In places in some of these pastures. I mean, the deer just have so much natural cover and so much natural browse this year. I think they're just more spread out.
Yeah.
They're not just, sucked into a property that has everything they need, because everything they need is everywhere this year.
Well, and I don't know how many sets of twins we've seen with does since
Yep.
we've been here. I was telling Logan last night, the first little 8-point that came in, I told Logan, I was like, hey, that's only the second buck I've seen in Kansas.
Yeah.
9 Live was the first, and then I think we saw 2 or 3 bucks last night.
Yeah, it was a pretty hot little spot there last night, just nothing mature, but
Yeah, it was bumping. This morning was slow, but we still got some time on our hands. But
yeah.
no, man, I think what you have here is something special. Between all the cool things you can do on each piece of property, having a variety of properties, like you said, that are spread out, I think that's key. And then having really good neighbors that's crucial. It
really is. Yeah, it really is.
This episode is brought to you by StealthCam, delivering industry-leading trail cameras built for serious hunters. When it comes to monitoring food plots or patterning deer, StealthCam gives us the clarity, reliability, and tools we count on season after season. Explore the full lineup at stealthcam.com.
When it comes to ammunition, the only way you're going to find the best match for your next hunt is if you've got options. And that's exactly what you'll get from our partners at Federal, the biggest line of ammo that you'll find anywhere. Federal loads their own award-winning bullet designs, like Terminal Ascent, one of our favorite all-around hunting bullets. And you won't find any shortage of time-tested favorites like the Nosler AccuBond, all-copper Barnes bullets, or even the Sierra Game King. And if you're one of us who enjoy the benefits of shooting a suppressed rifle with a shorter barrel, check out the groundbreaking 7mm Backcountry. It's a proprietary cartridge design from Federal that achieves maximum performance, even from shorter barrels. Get loaded up for your next hunt at federalpremium.com.
Let's talk about anything else management side that you got, like any kind of little golden nuggets that you've just kind of been like keeping in your back pocket.
I don't think really, I mean, as far as like farm management goes, I mean, I don't think I do anything, any different than anybody else that knows management.
Yeah.
But one thing that I always try to explain to people, and I think has helped a decent amount of people, I mean, especially buddies and stuff like that, I truly think one of the biggest reasons, other than the grace of God, that I've been able to take some of the deer I have over the last 10 years or so is I really, really pay attention to a deer's personality, and I think that has helped me kill more deer, honestly, than anything. Obviously I'm different than you.
Yeah.
You're different than Logan. We all have different personalities. Some of us are more aggressive people. Some of us are more passive type people, and deer are the same way. And, take note, I guess, when you're hunting, your trail cameras, everything. Really watch the mannerisms of specific bucks. Some deer are extremely aggressive. They get busted up every single year.
Yes.
They love to fight. They love to rut like crazy. And then some deer like 9 Lives are not like that at all.
He likes to run away with his tail tucked between his
Correct.
legs.
They're not aggressive. They like to be by themselves, which in my opinion, are some of the hardest deer to kill. But I hunt those two. This deer here, very aggressive. I watch this deer pretty much every year from a 3-year-old, and I knew even at 3 that this deer had an attitude.
Yeah.
So I had a feeling I could be more aggressive with him. Now, like if I was hunting 9 Lives, I might as well not even take my rattling antlers. You might be able to soft grunt him in or something like that, but you're never going to rattle that deer in, most likely.
No.
This deer, I knew I had a chance to get aggressive with, and get him to come in, make him mad, and that's exactly what happened. So I think if you can really, pay attention to the deer, even when they're young, watch them through the years, see how they act, what their mannerisms are, if they're aggressive, if they're not aggressive, if they're by themselves a lot. And you can even set your farm up, 9 Lives, for example. If I was going to try to kill him in the rut, I would have to try to, just hunt travel corridors, pinches,
Catch him cruising.
Basically. I'm not going to probably be able to call that deer in.
Yeah.
This deer, for example, I had pretty good idea just from years past where he was bedding. I put stands, basically in places where I knew I could get in his bubble, where I could make him angry, and that's exactly what happened. We got him killed. So,
when you're talking about figuring out a deer's personality, talk about how cellular trail cams have helped you identify that, because I think that's a pretty big key indicator, because I think people probably listening out there or watching this are thinking, did you go sit in the stand and watch the guy, or like how do you figure that out?
Yeah, so that's definitely part of it. I mean, I really try to pay attention, especially if there's a 3-year-old or even a 4-year-old deer that I know is going to be a giant someday, or a deer that I'm going to want to hunt. I really pay attention to him. Every time I see him in the stand, I see how he acts, what he's doing, how he's traveling, all that type of stuff. But then, with the advancements of trail cameras, especially cellular cameras, whether they're, I know that subject can be kind of controversial sometimes and I think some people use them to an extent where it's, ridiculous. I mean, if you've got 10 cameras running on 80 acres and when the deer's literally in his bed, I mean, that maybe is a little, at what point do you, draw the line?
Yeah.
But I really use them a lot in the summer on the protein feeders. Gets me an inventory. A lot of times you can figure out when they're in their bachelor groups, when they're coming to feed, which deer are aggressive and which deer aren't.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously know right away, even if they're in velvet in the summer, if a deer's pushing other deer off, or you can tell other deer are scared of another deer around the feeders, he's probably the Mac Daddy, and he's got an attitude, towards him.
You'll see him all come in. Then you see Big Boy.
Yep.
He'll be on the feed, and then
Correct.
as soon as he leaves,
and does a lot of times will even tell you that.
Dude, that was the funniest thing. We watched that little 2-year-old coming in last night. It was kind of funny. He actually came in with his nose up a little bit, and I'm like, bro, you're way too early for this.
Little cold front moving in, and he was feeling it,
But it's funny. As soon as he came in, dude, those does just took off. Like, it's fun.
Yeah, they know. I mean, and and then 9 Lives come in with a group of does.
He was the only buck.
It's almost like they know. I mean, we don't think about it like that, but I mean, these deer are living with each other in the woods every day. I mean, there's no way they don't know each other. So I mean, they know, personalities.
9 Lives got thrown into the friend zone with all those ladies. That's why he was with all. That's why he was with all them.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that. I look behind. It's just we're covered up in does.
But, I mean,
like
I've literally been
night.
sitting, before, over a food plot or whatever, and I've watched does. They'll snap their head and know something's coming, and when they'll sometimes see a buck. I mean, maybe not during the rut. I mean, during the rut, they're all probably all going to be like, "Oh, is this guy going to chase me?" But September, October, a lot of times they'll look, and they'll just go right back to feeding when they see a specific deer. And sometimes a specific buck comes out, and they're like, "The Red Sea split, and I'm getting out of here. Yeah, I don't want to mess with this deer."
You can almost tell when a buck is coming through the woods.
Oh yeah,
with
100%.
Deer. Like a lot of times, I feel like if a doe's coming, they'll hear and they look, and you see them staring off in the direction for a little bit, and then they'll just go right back to feeding or whatever they're doing. But then it's like when a buck's coming through the woods, heads popped up. And they'll even kind of periscope, and you see them kind of doing this, like, oh crap, here he comes.
And going back to your question with the trail cameras, like this time of year especially, I'll start moving a lot of cameras to scrapes and stuff, and man, you can tell just how a buck works a scrape if he's got an attitude. I mean, some deer come in and just kind of do their thing, and then you've got some that just come in and just tear the dang world apart.
Yeah, put that camera on video mode, and dude, you get some cool footage of deer doing those. But well, heck yeah, man. I mean, we still got a little bit of time here left in Kansas. Dude, just appreciate you letting us come out here. And, dude, thanks for hopping on the podcast with us today, man.
Absolutely. I hope things change around for you here in the next couple days, and we can get you a deer before you get out of here. But if you don't get one this time, you can always come back.
We'll see what happens, man. if somebody wants to watch you have this on an episode on your personal
Yes.
YouTube page of
Yes.
the 207?
Yep.
So I'm going to drop that down in the show notes and link below. Otherwise, where can people find you on socials, or what's your YouTube channel for people to find this?
I did kind of have just my personal, but this year I changed the name and everything. I kind of just, honestly, I felt a calling the last couple of years to kind of do like a little ministry through a YouTube show when I have time. My faith's a big thing that's important to me, and so we came up with the name Deer Disciples. Going to try to do some stuff with that. We've actually got a new episode. A friend of mine's son shot a really great deer during the youth season. So that's going to be up here pretty soon. But yeah, Deer Disciples is what it would be under for YouTube. And then
Sweet.
Facebook is Cody James Butler, and Instagram is Cody Butler 7, I believe. I don't even know.
I'll drop the links down in the descriptions below
terrible.
for everybody. No, you're
I
good,
feel like
man.
I'm getting into that age group where I just don't care about social media anymore.
How old are you now?
34.
I mean, you're just a year above me. I'll be 34 this year, so yeah. I'm kind of the same way, but that's what I do for a living too. So
That's true. I mean, same here.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, same here. So you kind of have to, but
Well, heck yeah, brother. Well, we'll see if we can get us one tonight, and
yeah,
maybe a 206 will walk out. You never know.
Never know. There's rumor on the street. There's a pretty big one just south of that farm that could move in there any day. So
Never know. We'll see what happens.